any private area, not necessarily just our home. So as to what constitutes an actual private area, it's a bit of a philosophical question. We like to say that a private area is anywhere where the public does not have an automatic right of access. So a restaurant, for example, anyone can walk in, anyone can get a table. To us, that would be a public area. However, a situation where you would have to apply in some way to get entrance, that to us will constitute a private area. And because it's a private area, people can now bring in and smoke their own cannabis. The Constitutional Court did make it clear that we may not sell cannabis yet. So cannabis in a recreational sense in South Africa is pretty simple. You can grow it, you can use it, but you cannot sell it. That is as far as the recreational cannabis industry in South Africa has come. I gave this speech a year ago, and I'm pretty much telling you exactly what I said back then. There's not been a lot of change, unfortunately. There has been one pretty important change though, and that's regarding CBD. You might see a lot of CBD products here. The Minister of Health has exempted preparations of CBD containing 20 milligrams of CBD or less from the scheduling of the Medicines Act. So if you have a CBD product that has a daily dose of 20 milligrams or less, and it doesn't make any health claims, that's the second requirement. You can't say this is going to cure whatever disease you may have. You can only make general wellness claims. If that's the case and your CBD product meets those requirements, then it's descheduled and it's open season. You can import it and you can sell it. And I think a lot of people are enjoying that kind of freedom today. But the judgment created a few grey areas. Generally, the law is quite black and white. The grey areas don't extend to the selling and the purchase of cannabis. We've covered that now. Recreational purchase and sale of cannabis is not allowed yet. The grey area comes in when you ask how much cannabis can I grow? How much is enough for personal use? And the test right now is as follows. Unfortunately, the responsibility has been placed with the police. The police are now the ones who have to catch you with your cannabis, however many grams or plants it might be, and they have to make an assessment on the spot as to whether or not that is too much. And the metric they use to decide that is it too much for personal consumption? Now the problem with that is that personal consumption is a very broad concept. I mean, personal consumption for me is very different for other people, for example. I mean, you need more cannabis to make extracts. Some people feed it to their pets, the raw leaves. It actually makes quite a good feed for cows. And what is personal use? So what we've been advising people to do is, if you're concerned about your stash of cannabis and whether or not it's too much, it's probably for good reason. And what you should be doing is keeping a diary. Keep track of what you use your cannabis for, how much you grow, and just have some evidence there. Keep dates in your diary. So if the worst should happen and a policeman decides one day that's too much, you need to appear before a magistrate and explain yourself, then at least you have this evidence. You have some kind of diary and you can prove what you've been using your 100 plants for. The concern with the amount of cannabis you have is the more that you have, the more likely the police are to think that it is too much for you, and they draw an inference that you're selling it. The issue comes in is that if you're caught with thousands of plants, it's difficult to make a case that those 1,000 plants are just for you. The police will probably infer that you're moving that stock elsewhere. So, because you can't sell it, but we're all allowed to smoke it and grow it, the question is, how do you get it? How do you get seeds? It's not the case that we all just had weed growing, and then the Constitutional Court is like, cool, you can now smoke it. So the way you get it, the only way that you can get it is by free donations. And when I say free, there can't be any kind of trade or quid pro quo. A lot of people will sell you, for example, Rizla for 500 Rand that comes with free weed, delivered a week later. Not allowed. You can dress it up however you like. The court will see right through that. The judge